Happiness plays a pivotal role in our lives, and yet for many men it can be overlooked, it can be taken for granted, it can be even viewed as a byproduct of a lifestyle that is yet to be lived. And it's easy to understand why and how that this might be the case. I know that I personally wasn't, and I also suspect that many other men watching this right now weren't role modelled or taught as adolescents to place a high value on personal happiness. After all, the sad truth is probably that most of our fathers back in the day would have been simply too busy trying to provide financially for their families to be truly happy in their own lives that they lived. And for me, this has kind of bridged the generational gap in that when we look societally, there's a lot of men now in their 30s and 40s that are simply too busy in their lives to concentrate on the things that bring them and make them happy. To demonstrate my point, try to name 14 things that you've done in the past week. That's only 2 things per day that you've done in the last week that bring you or that boost your levels of happiness. Because I'm sure now that there'll be men watching this video that already know that they don't do enough to be happy in their own lives. And I am conscious when I say this that everybody will have their own definition of what makes them feel happy, but yet broadly speaking, happiness is this kind of state, and it's a feeling, and like any other state or feeling, it will pass. And if we don't do the things, or we don't choose to experience the things that make us happy, then quite frankly, we won't be. From my coaching experience, it's become apparent that if a man lacks happiness in his life, it's highly likely that he lacks self-happiness in himself, which is linked to self-esteem. And I'm conscious that self-happiness isn't a mainstream term, but what it really means is that when a man isn't happy, the chances are his self-esteem is lower. And this is what men don't recognize or realize about happiness. A lack of happiness in your everyday life can adversely impact your levels of self-esteem. And without reasonably high levels of self-esteem, it's more likely that you'll experience stress and anxiety. And simply put, without happiness in your life, you're more likely to experience poor mental health. Einstein said, "A happy man is one who is satisfied with his present." So if you're not satisfied with where you are, you need to create some change. And here's just a few simple strategies to bring some happiness back into your life. Number 1, stop comparing yourself to other men. Habitually comparing yourself to other men, their successes, their material items, the things that they own, their physique or their physical accomplishments will only leave you in a state of discontent. And I'll caveat that by saying that it's okay, perhaps it's even healthy to be inspired by other men. But the only man that you should be comparing yourself against is who you were yesterday. Number 2 is this: get out of your comfort zone. Lots of men naively believe that once they achieve the things that make them successful and happy, then they'll stay that way forever. But that's not how the masculine mind works. To be happy, men need to feel a sense of challenge in their lives. They need to feel like they're achieving. And recently I've had clients that have learned to play guitar, that have learned a foreign language, Spanish in this instance. I've even had clients that have run half and full marathons. But the message here is be courageous, take the comfort blanket off and set yourself a challenge or a goal, something that you'll be happy about when you achieve it. The third one is a sign of modern times, and it's put down your phone. Everything that we want nowadays is at the tip of our fingers, but it also means that because people recognize and expect us to have our phones, there's an assumption that we'll always be available, and always been available to other people means that we can never be truly available to ourselves. So leave your phone behind and go for what I call an awareness walk. Listen for the noises, the birds, the trees, the wind moving. Look for the things that you would normally miss or wouldn't notice. Start on the ground, the things that are small. Then look at eye level, the things that are around you. Look above you in the sky. When you get back from an awareness walk, you'll feel lighter and you'll feel happier. I guarantee it. Ultimately, if you're not happy, it's because either you're not doing the things that you need to do to be happy, or quite frankly, you're just not trying. So take a moment to consider how a lack of happiness in your life is affecting you, and what might be different for you if you started to focus some of your time, some of your effort, and some of your energy on bringing more happiness into your life.